So I watched XO Kitty season 2 and I need to talk about it. Partially because I talked about season 1 and I only feel like it's right for me to talk about season 2. And also I loved this season. I just want to talk about it and I just want to share my thoughts and feelings about it. I kind of want to rewatch it all over again with season 1. I want to watch all the small little details and catch all of them. This season was so much smoother. It had a lot more polish than season 1. And season 1 was cute, don't get me wrong, obviously, because I loved it and that's why I watched season 2. But season 2 was just so much better. There's going to be some spoilers ahead, and then also this is a different kind of setup than my normal. I was just too lazy to go from the computer into the area where I film, so I just decided to film at my desk. And it's a little bit later than I was expecting, so like there's some light coming through. I might actually close this blind right here because it's getting into my eye. Hang on, it's a little bit better. There's still it's aesthetic, right? Like we'll just go with it. I'm going to try and be quick about this. So this season actually gave the story time to breathe. In season 1, it felt like they were racing through subplots, trying to check off all the boxes for the crushes and the secrets and the drama. But this time they slowed it down, and they slowed it down really well. The characters felt more lived in. The pacing gave emotional beats that allowed the emotions to actually sit and settle and land. Season 2 picks up right where we left off. Thanks to Yuri pulling some strings, Kitty is allowed to return to kiss, but she is on thin ice. This time, Kitty promises to herself and everyone around her that she's going to stay focused, that there's going to be no distractions, no crushes, just focusing on school and growth and digging a little bit deeper into her family history, like her mom and everything. But obviously, this is XO Kitty. That's not going to work out very well for her. The biggest curveball is that she's assigned to a room with Yuri and Yuri's girlfriend, Juliana, who has come back. And there's also a mysterious new girl. Her name is Stella. We'll get to her later. So now Kitty is navigating this horribly awkward living situation with the girl that she used to have a crush on, and currently actually still does have a crush on, and that girl's actual girlfriend. If you notice things are changing around here, it's because I can't figure out how I want the lighting or anything, because I've never filmed in here before, so I'm having a little bit of a struggle. But it's fine, we'll get through it. Kitty is stuck in this room with Yuri and Juliana, and she's trying to navigate her feelings, and her crush is coming and it's messy. There's a lot going on in this teeny tiny little dorm room, and you can just feel the tension simmering, and you can definitely tell that Yuri and Kitty, there's something going on. At least and Yuri, it's mostly because her relationship with Juliana is not panning out the way that they had hoped. And there's some rendezvous stuff that happens, like Yuri and Kitty kissing, which leads to a whole insane scene and episode following that, and it's a lot. Meanwhile, Minho, who had finally confessed his feelings for Kitty at the end of season 1, is dealing with his own whirlwind. Because Kitty rejected him, which we didn't see at the end of season 1, but we see at the beginning of season 2, she full on rejects him, and his heart is broken essentially from that. So he starts dating someone else. Stella, Kitty's mysterious new roommate. Spoiler alert, it's a really bad idea. At first, Stella seems really cool and confident, but as the season goes on, we learn that Stella isn't really who she says she is. She has a plan. She came to the school with a plan, and unfortunately, Minho gets caught in the crossfire of that plan, and once again, Minho is being used by a girl he's interested in. He just gets used for a different kind of plan, for a different kind of desires and wants. Like, the girl never actually gave a shit about him. And then on top of that, Minho is also dealing with his own family drama. His dad, a famous actor, starts playing a pretty big role in the season because his dad starts teaching a class at the school, which causes a lot of chaos for Minho because he doesn't want to see his dad at school, and he doesn't have really the best relationship with his dad. But we get to see this lovely part of Minho that even when he's trying to be confident and everything, this confident, aloof guy, he is struggling. He is really, really struggling. His scenes have a lot more emotional weight than we've ever seen before, and this creates a pressure cooker environment. Kitty's trying to focus on and grow, Minho's trying to move on and heal, Yuri is stuck in her own internal tug of war, and these characters are just all on a collision course. And there's certain plot points that really stick out as well. There is an arc where Kitty is diving into her family history, and it has an actual arc, and it actually has some really great payoff. I didn't think I would ever cry during XO Kitty, but there's this scene where Kitty gets to meet her grandma with her great aunt, and it's just such a sweet scene, and the bonding that they have is so sweet, and it's a scene that you have to see. And I don't know, the music, the atmosphere, the look on Kitty's face, and the acceptance. I cried. I just started crying because that scene was so cute. It was so cute when they reunited, because that wasn't just a family moment. That was Kitty merging the past with the present. That was generational healing, and Kitty made it happen, really pushing forward a story, her own family story and her story. And there's not just things happening to her, she's making moves on her own. When it comes to character growth, in my opinion, they did a much better job of juggling the ensemble cast. In season 1, it felt like everyone was getting screen time, but not necessarily development. There were so many characters, and there's still too many characters. I think there's just too many, honestly. I think they need to slim it down a little bit, and instead they added to it. So I think we really need to cut some of them out, honestly. And yes, characters like Q did not get as much screen time and story and everything. They didn't really get to Q's story felt more of like a backseat story, which kind of sucked. But honestly, in the grand scheme of the overall story and the love square, triangle, circle thingamajig, his story just didn't really fit in with where they were going. So I didn't mind it too much. I hope that moving forward, they are able to introduce Q a little bit more organically into the story. But this season really allowed Kitty to grow. She's no longer the quirky, overbearing girl who's obsessed with shipping couples. This season, she felt more grounded. She is still grieving. She's grieving her mother, and she's not romanticizing her. She's just trying to figure out her mom's life, figure out her connection to her mom, trying to find some sort of way to connect with her mom in an organic way. She's still navigating her identity. She's not just partially Korean, but she's also trying to figure out her sexuality. And yes, her relationship drama is still messy. It's still insane, but she's actually learning from the messiness this time around. She's not just bouncing around, and it just doesn't seem like she's falling in love with this person. She's actually learning from the people that she is interested in and the mistakes that she makes. There's a wonderful little scene of her sitting in the dorm, and she's just sitting there trying to hold back tears, and it's just her, and it's quiet, and she's just being raw and vulnerable, and I love to see it. There's a similar scene that happens in a hot tub later on, but Minho's with her, and we'll get back to Minho like comforting her and everything, but I really liked the moments of stillness with Kitty and allowing her to learn and grow and figure things out. I didn't get annoyed by her this season, actually. I wasn't as annoyed by her as in season 1. There was a couple times where I was like, oh my god, Kitty. But this season, I didn't get annoyed by her. This season, I actually really enjoyed every time she was on screen. I had fun with her story. I had fun with her art. And her actions felt earned. Her mistakes had consequences. Her relationships had depth. She was allowed to be messy without being obnoxious. And that's a huge testament to the writing and honestly, Anna Cathcart's performance. They finally gave Kitty the space to be a real protagonist, not a walking trope, not a sidekick, but a full human being. They allowed her to finally move away from the film where she was just a funny, quirky girl in To All the Boys I've Loved Before movies, and she's now allowed to be her own person in this series, which is really nice to see. Now on to the most important thing, Kitty and Minho. I am so done with them not being together, because Like, hello? Minho confesses his feelings on the plane at the end of season 1. Instead, Kitty rejects him. For the entirety of season 2, they play this we're just friends dance. Like, no matter what, like, all of their random relationships, like, when they're together, you can tell that they are together. Like, they are meant to be together. You can feel it every time they're in a room together. The eye contact, the loaded silence. There's this constant push and pull energy between them, but it's never chaotic. It's pretty soft, but it's definitely magnetic. They just get each other in this quiet, instinctual way. It's not even about what they say, it's just how they act around each other. And let's talk about the hugs. Oh my God. The hugs this season between them two were on another level. We're not talking about a quick one-armed hug saying, "You good?" These were lingering, full body, heartbeat to heartbeat kind of hugs. Like the one in episode 7 when Kitty is spiraling and everything's falling apart. And Minho doesn't say a word. He just holds her. Arms wrapped around her like he's anchoring her to reality. You're telling me that they are just friends? Are you kidding me? There's something especially intimate about the way Minho always seems to notice her. Like in episode 4 when they're walking by the river at night and Kitty's trying to pretend she's fine. And Minho just looks at her and he's like, and you can just tell he's going like, "I can tell you're hurting," even though you won't say it. And that's just the thing. He sees her, not the chaos she causes, not the image she projects. He sees her and he still stays close and he stays present. And Kitty does pretty much the same thing for him, even when they're dating other people, which they really need to stop that. But Minho never fully disconnects from Kitty. Every time he's with Stella, it feels performative. He's trying so hard to convince himself he's over Kitty, but his eyes say something else entirely. And same thing goes with Kitty. She might be tangled up in her confusion about Yuri or still carrying emotional baggage from Day, and there's a girl that she randomly goes on a couple dates with that I can't remember her name, but she just gravitates towards Minho. It's instinctual. She can't help it. It's not loud or dramatic. They just always are circling each other. But yeah, watching them not be together this whole season was absolutely infuriating. But like, honestly, the ending scene when she walks up to him as he's walking towards his car and she goes, "Can I join you?" It's so simple, but it's everything. It's absolutely everything. She's finally choosing him in a way that finally matches the emotional intimacy that they've been building all season. We didn't need a grand confession or a kiss under fireworks. We needed that like quiet moment of knowing. I'm going to say though is like, if season 3 doesn't have them together for some fucking reason, I'm going to actually blow a gasket and I'm not watching this show anymore, because I don't want. You can tell that the other relationships are not gonna work. You can just tell. It's so obvious. So like, and I don't find that amusing or interesting to watch. I don't find it amusing or interesting to watch them keep dancing around each other. This season was fine. Like, the first season was okay because Kitty was still in a relationship and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And she was like trying to figure out, and she was like kind of surprised by her interest in him. And then this season, she was dealing with her emotional issues and they were connecting in an emotional, intimate way. So like, I get it, but now they're good. They're good. Let them be together. And if they're not, and if there's more drama that keeps them apart, and if Minho dates another girl that uses him, I'm going to actually rip out my hair. Because stop it. Minho deserves better. But yeah, so those were the positives. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some negatives about this show. Let's start with Stella, or Esther, whatever name she's going by. Her character just didn't land for me, and in my research, she didn't land for a lot of people either. She's supposed to be this mysterious, cool girl with a secret agenda, but it kind of fell flat. Her motivations were extremely confusing, and instead of adding tension or drama in an exciting way, it just felt like the whole time I was like, why are we doing this? I don't understand the point of it. And then there's the setting itself. I love a good international school fantasy, but the portrayal of Kiss just doesn't feel realistic. A lot of people have pointed out that's oddly diverse for a Korean boarding school, and somehow everyone speaks perfect English all the time. I get that it's for accessibility and all, but it does pull you out of the world a little bit. There's just something about the way that they frame Korean culture that feels very touristy and very false. It's giving very much Emily in Paris, but in Seoul. Cute to look at, but not super grounded in reality. And sure, maybe they haven't had the same scandals as Emily in Paris has had, but like I feel like they need to improve upon that aspect a little bit more so that way the show can continue on in a good, positive way instead of just skating by on advertisements only like Emily in Paris. Now, with the writing, the dialogue was rough. I love this show, but there were definitely moments where it felt like the characters were reading the plot, like reading out plot summaries instead of having actual conversations. One reviewer even said that the dialogue sometimes sounded like radio disclaimers, which I thought was so funny. It's just blasting out information with absolutely no room to breathe. And yeah, it's not constant, but when it hits, you notice. And like, let's be honest, the LGBTQ storylines felt surface level most of the time. Like, yes, I love that there's some representation, but it felt more like a checkbox a lot of the time, like a box to be checked off than an actual story, than an actual arc. I wanted more emotional depth, more tension, more anything. They had it set up, but they just didn't go as deep as they could have. Like, as much as I want Minho and Kitty to be endgame, they could have really explored with Kitty's bisexuality a little bit more, and they just didn't. That said, overall, critics still responded pretty positively. Season 2 has an 83% rating on Rotten Tomatoes with a 6.5 average, which is pretty solid. A lot of people praised how much stronger the storytelling was compared to season 1. There is a sense that the show is growing with its audience, which I love, even though it's still a little sugary sweet sometimes. But honestly, like the fans, me, everyone, we're all just here for Kitty and Minho. That's the reason I'm tuning in. That's the only reason I'm emotionally invested at this point. Those are my thoughts. Some like a quick like little overview of like the plot and some of my favorite moments and some of the critiques I have for the show. Overall, I really enjoyed season 2. I am going to definitely rewatch it with season 1. It's a cute show to just put on at night, have a glass of wine, and just to enjoy. I don't know. I really like it. I think I see so much potential in it. I really hope that they improve upon the negatives. I hope they continue to grow with the audience like they have been and expand upon the culture and everything in season 3. So we shall see. Anyways, what did you think of XO Kitty season 2? Did it live up to your expectations? Come on, let's have a discussion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. And until next time, bye.